Ayes 23, noes 11. The measure passes. File item 130, Senate Bill 248, Senator Pavley. Pass on file. Item 131, Senate Bill 261, Senator Hancock. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 261 by Senator Hancock, an act relating to parole.
Thank you very much, Madam President. And members, SB 261 builds on SB 260 that passed in 2013, which gave youthful offenders, people who were incarcerated as adults, although they had committed a crime when they were under age 18, the ability to have a youthful parole hearing after they had served 15 to 25 years in state prison. Since the passage of that bill 2 years ago, there have been about 490 hearings. About 1/3 of those have resulted in a grant of parole. 2/3 were denied, about 155 approved, 490 out of 490. This is because of the careful work of our Board of Parole Hearings. The Board of Parole Hearings is made up members of 11 or 12 people. 11 of those individuals have law enforcement backgrounds. They're DAs, they worked for CDCR, they worked in sheriff's departments, they work in police departments. Their grants of parole, which have all been reviewed and approved by the governor, have resulted in no recidivism thus far, not one case. SB 261 would extend this opportunity to individuals who committed their crime before the age of 23, in other words, between 18 and 22. Like SB 260, this recognizes recent brain research showing that cognitive development goes on well into the mid-20s, particularly in the parts of the brain relating to judgment, risk assessment, and decision-making. Excluded from the bill are individuals convicted of 3 strikes, 1-strike rape, LWOP, life without the possibility of parole, or fall under the jurisdiction of Jessica's Law. Like SB 260, SB 261 holds offenders accountable, but offers them hope and the incentive to change their lives. I want to stress this is not a grant of parole. It is not a mandate for parole. It is an opportunity for a parole hearing after 15, 20, or 25 years in state prison. It allows the Board of Parole Hearings, 11 of the 12 of which have law enforcement background, to consider the remorse, maturity, and rehabilitation of the individuals. And it is also subject to the review of the governor, who may approve or deny. SB 261 will give young adults in our prisons hope and the incentive to improve their lives. It is supported by a broad coalition ranging from the former House Speaker Newt Gingrich to the ACLU and the Catholic Conference. In addition, the Police Chiefs Association has removed their opposition and is now neutral. I also want to thank Senator Cannella for agreeing to be a co-author of this bill, and I would ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. Is there any discussion or debate? Senator Stone.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise in strong opposition to SB 261. This bill seeks to grant early release of a new group of individuals who have committed the most serious and heinous crimes. By expanding the list of juveniles eligible from age 18 to 23, this could have potentially devastating effects, including the trust in our system of justice. To say that someone who is old enough to vote, buy tobacco, serve in the military, even by alcohol, is not somehow an adult, should be treated as a juvenile, is a mockery of our judicial system. These young adults have committed some of the worst crimes on the books. Let's make sure that justice is served, especially for the victims and families suffering from their heinous acts, often despicable acts. How about hope for the victims of these crimes? I strongly urge a no vote.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion or debate? Senator Murdoch.
Thank you, Madam President. I've been really struggling with this bill. And it just seems to me with AB 109 and Proposition 47, so much has been happening with the release of inmates into the counties and cities that I'd like a little more time to elapse before I'm comfortable in taking on this bill, so I'll be opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion or debate? Seeing none, please, excuse me. Senator Hancock, would you like to close, please?
Just to point out, this is not a grant of anything to anyone. It offers some individuals a chance and an opportunity and some hope. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, and please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. No. Block. Cannella. Aye. DeLeon. Fuller. No. Gaines. No. Galgiani. Glazer. No. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Huff. No. Hueso. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Leno. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell.
Aye.
Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. Wynn. No. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Roth. Runner. No. Stone. Vidak. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk.
Please call absent members.
Block. De Leon. Galgiani. No. Hernandez. Aye. Hueso. Lada. Leno. Morrell. Nilsson. Pavley. Roth. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wolk.
Senator Hancock moves the call. File item 132, Senate Bill 311. Senator Bell. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 311 by Senator Bell, an act relating to preschool and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Senator Bell.
Madam President, SB 311 is a district bill to approve a pilot project in the Alum Rock Union Elementary School District located in East San Jose. The pilot would extend the hours of the part-day preschool and streamline eligibility process by eliminating the duplicative paperwork for families wishing to enlist their child in the program. The pilot will sunset on January 1st, 2022, and requires an annual report to the legislature on student outcomes. The Alum Rock School District has the largest concentration of poverty in San Jose and the highest violent crime rate and this affects the student achievement. And many of these students face multiple barriers, and early education is critical, and my district intends to demonstrate the effectiveness of early learning and community engagement. This bill would effectively create a all-day program for the preschool program there at no cost to the state of California. And it has no votes. I urge an aye vote on this measure.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion or debate on the matter? Any discussion or debate? See none, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wesso. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lutta. Leno. Leva. I. Liu. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members, please.
Allen. I. Block. I. De Leon. Hueso. I. Lara. Leno. Liu. I. Nilsson. Pavley. Pavley, aye.
Thank you. Ayes 36, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. Colleagues, we've had several former colleagues as guests on the floor today. Earlier, we had former Senator Runner, and please join me in welcoming Senator Joe Submitting at the back of the chamber. Moving on to file item 134, Senate Bill 330. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 330 by Senator Mendoza, an act relating to public officers.
Senator Mendoza.
Madam President, thank you, Senators. I'm here to present SB 330. For many years, many bodies throughout the state have been plagued with corruption scandals. This bill aims at helping with that issue. SB 330 expands the financial interest prohibition for a public officer who is an elected member of a state or local body, board, or commission in a contract decision of his or her spouse, child, parent, sibling, or the spouse of a child, parent, or sibling has a financial interest in the contract under consideration by that public officer in his or her official capacity. This bill has received unanimous support in policy and fiscal committees. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion or debate on the measure? Any discussion or debate? Any objection to the use of a previous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 135, Senate Bill 343. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 343 by Senator Hancock, an act relating to corrections.
Senator Hancock.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. SB 343 requires CDCR to strongly consider integrating its librarians and correctional librarians into the department's prisoner literacy program. As we all know from our communities, librarians foster literacy. They are up on the improved techniques of doing that, especially with adult populations. And they also can really help inmates navigate an information-age society and provide valuable parole planning resources. We are in the midst of working with the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation and the Office of the Chancellor of the California Community Colleges to enter into an interagency agreement that will expand access to community college courses, resulting in degrees and transfer credits for inmates as they are released. This will improve our ability to do that and create new opportunities for inmates. There is no opposition, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Discussion or debate? Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. I. Bates. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. Hueso. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lara. Leno. Leyva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell.
Aye.
I. Monning. I. Morlock. Morrell. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members, please.
Allen. I. Bates. I. De Leon. Hill. Hueso. I. Lara. Leno. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. Stone. Aye. Hill, aye.
Ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 136. Senator Lara is not at his desk. File item 137, Senator Bell. Mr. Secretary, please read SB 377.
Senate Bill 377 by Senator Bell, an act relating to taxation to take effect immediately. Tax levy.
Senator Bell.
Good afternoon, Madam President and members. Low-income housing tax credits are a primary source of capital to construct and rehabilitate affordable housing units in California. Currently, the low-income housing tax credits are structured in a way that is subject to federal taxation. As a result, 35 cents on every dollar California invests in this critical program goes to the federal government. This bill, SB 377, will allow the credits to be restructured in a way that is not subject to federal taxation, bringing the investment closer to a dollar for dollar and therefore keeping more money in California. SB 377 will significantly increase the efficiency and value of state low-income housing tax credit and therefore allow many more affordable housing units to be built for the same level of state tax expenditure. Let's make this program more efficient. It has received bipartisan support. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. Any discussion or debate? Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Leno. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell.
Aye.
Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
That's everybody, isn't it? Call the absent members.
De Leon. Galgiani. Lara. Leno. Nilsson.
Thank you. Ayes 35, no 0. The measure passes. File item 139, Senate Bill 405. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 405 by Senator Hertzberg, an act relating to vehicles.
Senator Hertzberg.
Thank you, Madam President. This measure deals with how we fund our court system, and it just doesn't work. It's the first in a number of steps that I intend to deal with over the years to really properly fund the courts. But this deals with one of the most egregious and unjust aspects of how our court system works. We have a case where someone got a $25 ticket for failing to make a change of address, and because of all the penalty assessments, lost their driver's license, and the bill amounted to $2,900. According to the LAO's office, a base fee just without losing your license and paying on time for a failure to stop is $35. But when you add on all the stuff that we've added on over the years, you actually have to pay $238. Now, what's the practical effect of this? The practical effect is that when someone has to choose between feeding their family or paying their rent, and they have a failure to stop, or they didn't turn in their change of address sign, or we have a case where a fellow wrote to me on the email where he didn't pay $1.50 fare and lost his license, which resulted in $8,000 worth of fines. It is not just, it is not properly applied. So the governor came along and has a process whereby he is going to reduce that dramatically. He has proposed some trailer bills, but basically in a nutshell, what this measure does as a first step is it says that your amount of your fine is going to be reduced in half. We're going to have an amnesty program for the next, we propose 2 years, the governor's at 18 months. Secondly, we say that when you apply for the amnesty program, you get your driver's license back. And thirdly, I put a means test on this. When you're at 125% of poverty level, or if you're on assistance, you only have to pay 20%. Now, certainly there's other aspects, because there's people that have paid these outrageous fines, and we have to deal with that. And we're going to down the line. But this is the first step to try to put people back into their cars. It dramatically affects their ability to work. The study was done by an important organization that showed 4.6 million people in California have lost their driver's license in the last 8 years because of this ridiculous program. I ask for your support of this important measure.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion or debate on the matter? Any discussion or debate? Please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. Galgioni. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Weso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. Leno. Leba. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. Mitchell.
Aye.
I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please call absent members.
Gaines. Aye. Galgioni. Aye. Lada. Leno. Mendoza. Aye. Nilsson.
Ayes 37, no 0. The measure passes. File item 140, Senate Bill 447. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 447 by Senator Allen, an act relating to Medi-Cal.
Senator Allen.
Thank you, Madam President and members. This bill will streamline the complex billing and reimbursement process for California's community health clinics that dispense medication to Medi-Cal patients and ensure that clinics are being fairly reimbursed for the important services that they provide. California's community health clinics offer a unique option for low-income patients to receive quality, affordable medical care. Clinics that dispense medication on site provide the added benefit of a one-stop shop that allows patients to leave their healthcare provider with medication in hand. This convenience has led to improved access to healthcare and better patient health outcomes. However, unlike all other healthcare providers treating Medi-Cal patients, clinics that dispense medication are required to use a billing system that is overly complex and unfairly disadvantages and underfunds these clinics. So this overcomplicated billing system has become an acute problem recently as the clinics are seeing significantly more Medi-Cal eligible patients due to the Affordable Care Act. So all this bill does is simplify the billing and reimbursement system for community clinics by allowing clinics to bill and be reimbursed at the Medi-Cal rate, just like other pharmacy services. This simplicity will ensure clinics receive the reimbursement to which they're entitled, increase clinics' funding certainty, and enable them to better serve their patients. In some cases, the costs will go up. In many cases, the costs will go down, but it makes it in conformity with the Medi-Cal procedures. There's no opposition to this bill, and I ask for your aye vote.
Any discussion or debate? Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Gaines. Galgioni. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Hernandez. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wesso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Leno. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell.
Aye.
Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Morrell. No. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Vidak. Wachowski. Wolk.
Call absent members, please.
Bates. Berryhill. Fuller. Gaines. Aye. Galgioni. Aye. Huff. Aye. Lada. Leno. McGuire. Morlock. No. Nilsson. Runner. Stone. Vidak. Wachowski. Wolk.
Ayes 25, noes 3. The measure passes. File item 141, Senate Bill 468. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 468 by Senator Hill, an act relating to professions and vocations.
Senator Hill.
Madam President, thank you. SB 468 is the Bureau of Security and Investigative Services Sunset Bill. This bill will extend the operation of the BSIS for 4 years and will also make the Bureau subject to review by the appropriate policy committees of the legislature again in 4 years. There's been no opposition to this measure. We're continuing to work with the industry in the implementation schedule and the timing of some of the new policies. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, members.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion or debate? Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a question for the author.
Of course.
Please proceed.
It states that we're going to require a psychological evaluation every 6 months in order to receive and maintain the firearm permit. And I'm from a profession where we do things every 2 years, and I'm just wondering, isn't that a little onerous, and can that be modified?
The 6-month provision, trying to remember exactly what it called for in here, but we've been looking at trying to make sure that there's for the armed guards, yes, of course, and to make sure that they do have the appropriate profile to continue carrying the weapons, and we determined that the 6-month level was the appropriate time frame. So if that's an issue, then we certainly will look at it, be happy to, but it's where we are today in that.
It seems like we just celebrated New Year's Eve, and now it's June, so 6 months can go rather quickly, and I just think
as I mentioned, we're still, with the industry on the implementation of this, we're still discussing with them as to how we will roll it out and how best to make it work. So it's still conversations.
Okay, well then I'll vote today, but I'd like to see that change because that's a little too much, I think, to ask for the.
I understand. We'll look at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Bates.
Thank you, Madam President. I did support this in both business and professions and appropriations. Subsequent to it coming out of appropriations, a very significant increase in the fine was added to the bill. That is troublesome in the event that someone who has to have this evaluation every 6 months somehow misses in some requirement, and therefore the fine or that is assessed to that individual is significant. That is why I think the 6 months evaluation should be reevaluated. And for that reason, I hope you'll take a look at that as it goes forward and make an adjustment, because I think the purpose of the bill is very important. We need to know that these individuals are having the best frame of mind their job and ensuring that they are responsible gun owners and gun users. However, this appears to be a rather onerous new requirement in terms of those who do have to be evaluated every 6 months, and if they make a minor error, they're subject to really a significant increase in the fine.